Hello and welcome to the second episode of Red Dead Redemption playthrough. This is Red Dead Yarbdemption. I'm going to jump right in. Again, like the last one, it's going to be sped up a little bit. I had some issues with the first three that I recorded, which were like the opening sections. So again, hopefully the audio is a little better on this one. So hear me a little bit more. And I've done some things to fix it. And again, new software, getting used to it. But this introduces us to the journal. And then you can also study the animals there. There'll be a little more on that when I get into hunting. But let's go ahead and head on into our next mission. Here's Javier. We're going to jump right in here. And Bill and Micah and Lenny. And then Dutch comes and says the O'Driscolls are in a little camp up the way, and we're going to go and take them out. Once again, incrementally introducing us into new elements. There's the rifle and the lasso. We'll go ahead and head down. And this is another example where it'll cut into a cinematic for travel to let you really breathe in the amazing detail there. Look at all the horse tracks, and you're starting to see it's not a wailing storm this time. It's been snowing. Get a little backstory here about Dutch and his feud with Colm O'Driscoll, and it explains that some things were done on both sides, but that Dutch killed his brother, and he did something, I believe, to someone named Annabelle. I'm sure we'll probably hear more about that later. And we stop here. As you can see, the smoke in the distance, indicating that there's a camp or a town or something right there. So I'm going to go check that out with Dutch here. Alright. And I do love the buildup of snow on the fabric there. If you look at the coattails. Get our first glimpse of the binoculars, which will absolutely come into play later. And then he's going to have me get the rifle off of the horse. So we'll go do that. And then we'll head on down the path here. Check out the O'Driscoll camp. As varied as the environments were in the original Red Dead, this is Rockstar's largest map to date by all accounts, and I think it's going to have a lot of variety once you really get in there. So that the first part, you know, when you're playing through this sort of wintry area, kind of showcases the weather system and the particle effects and some of that, but it does start to feel a little stark, and I think that's the point. It almost has you feeling like you got to do whatever it takes to get the heck out of there. Creep on out here into this camp, and this is going to give us our first taste of combat. And really dive into to that. All right. Ooh, great kill cam. Got the guy on the tower. This is that rifle that Dutch gave me a moment ago. Right there. Just basically pretty frantic, but you can feel the improvements from Grand Theft Auto in terms of like the aiming system and those kind of things. It's definitely made some enhancements. I'll run through here, get these guys on the side, and then this guy in the door there. And in this game, when you do loot the enemies, you do manually. Ooh, another great shot with the kill cam. But you do manually loot, so you will pick the guys up and take the stuff off of them. And as any game of this nature, always important to get the good stuff early. So we'll go ahead and grab that. And then another group of them come up over here, which is going to introduce us to the new mechanic, Deadeye, which of course, anyone who's played any of the Red Dead games, Red Dead Revolver, Red Dead Redemption, is very, very familiar with the Deadeye system. Another great kill cam shot. And what's great in this one is that the kill cams actually change depending on how you play the character. So if you play Arthur Morgan as a more honorable man, they'll portray the kill cams one way. And then if you portray him as more of a villain, a rogue, have you, there'll be another. I definitely sped this section up as far as the looting, because I knew that this was going to be a little tedious. So just kind of run through here real quick and grab some bullets. And Dutch is going to tell us to search the camp. I think we got some gun oil and some jewelry. All of that will come into play later. We'll get these last couple of guys. Combat definitely feels a little more crisp. I had to make a slight adjustment to the sensitivity, and of course that's the great thing about the Rockstar does give you that customization, so you can go in and adjust that sensitivity a little bit. It was a little bit tight for me, so I kind of adjusted it so it would feather a little better. Alright, and you can use the eagle eye to see lootable items, which is going to be, I imagine, be pretty helpful if you're able to like loot houses and things of that nature. Alright, let's get back on the horse, and apparently I'm just going to run into everybody. And Dutch sort of lamenting on the things that he wants, talking about the possibility of getting John and the others back together. I'm going to switch up here because I know something that's coming up. So we'll get out here. I do like the way that they have, as you notice, it's starting to get a little bit darker as we head back into the valley. And you do pretty quickly get the sense of time starting to pass. The day is starting to wind down. And now I'm off to grab the guy that we saw O'Driscoll beating on. And got him all hog-tied now. Oh, crap. Get down! got him now. All right. All right, and that's Kieran. And he introduces himself here in a moment. Kieran Duffy. We're going to take him back to the camp. And as you can see, it is almost completely dark now. Kind of just sort of overtook us. Get a little bit of conversation here. And our first person tied up and draped over the back of the horse. I can assure you that will not be the last time that happens. All right. Another absolutely amazing element. You can't quite see it here with the sped up footage, but I'll make sure to point it out in future episodes. If you are in snow or areas that you can see the footprints or hoof prints or what have you. This is a living, breathing, dynamic world in so many ways, because you'll see like a dog has left footprints in the mud, paw prints in the mud. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get him turned over to the gang here. And that is going to do it for episode 2. I kind of missed out on saying this last time, but I want to thank every one of you that's watching, those that have supported the channel so far. Again, good things coming. But I just want to say, if you haven't already, hit like. If you haven't, hit subscribe. And please tell your friends. The more people I can get, the more content I'll do. And thanks, guys. See you next time.